Hey everyone, I hope you're all well. Musti and I, we feel inclined to make this video to share a story, to share a message with all of you. We feel it's very important that everyone hears this because of how empowered we felt by it. And I would really appreciate it if you guys would share this video with your friends and just get this message across. So this all started a couple months back when Musti and I went to the Queen Victoria Market to protest against the COVID restrictions, because you know how vocal we are about it and we don't agree with what's going on. We feel inclined to stand against oppression. And at this protest, the people gathered and surrounded by cops. Now we start marching out of the market. About 50 of us start marching, or 100, and then the officers split us up and they cut through the back, so they don't allow anyone else to join the march. So now we're separated and we're trapped in a circle by about 100 officers, and there's about 50 people here in this circle. And in this circle we're speaking to the officers and we're trying to ask them, why are you restricting our movement? Why aren't you letting us through? And we're being genuine with them. We really tried to have a heart-to-heart with them in this moment, where we're asking them, do you really believe what you're doing is right? And how do you sleep at night? How can you sleep at night knowing that you're fighting the people here? We don't feel protected by you. And we weren't getting any responses from these guys. They were very robotic, and we're trying to just speak to the human in them and get a response, but they've been given clear orders not to say a word to us. But there's this one where Musti said to her, you know what you're doing is wrong, you know it, and she gave him a nod, and then we acknowledged that. And a couple moments later, 10 officers come in when Musti's not looking, and they grab him by the head, they yank him out, and he's in shock, and they knee him in the gut and they slam his face on the ground. Now he had cuts on his face, and me seeing that happen to my friend, I had an immediate emotional response. Now I start saying to these cops, do you not have a beating heart in your chest that I have in mine? Why is there a wall between you and I? How are you and I different? Who do I call when I need protection from you guys? Now, did you guys not sign a contract to serve and protect the people? Now I feel threatened by you guys. I feel threatened right now. I'm scared right now from you guys.
Look, I think it's important to note that the ones that tackled us are the riot police, and the ones that we're talking to are your normal fluorescent Victoria Market. Not Victoria Market, Victoria Police. But yeah. And
yeah, so a couple of moments later the same thing happens. I get arrested. And we end up leaving that place feeling pretty humiliated, disappointed, and just defeated. You know, we got fined, and we challenged those fines. It didn't matter to us, but it was just the way we were treated by these officers, and we felt defeated. Like, pointless. Why? And you know, so we didn't know our actions that they hadn't had any impact, but we wanted to believe they did, but we weren't sure. So now, a couple months later,
fast forward to 2 days ago, at next protest at the Shrine, and we went separately, me and Albert, and you know, the news might tell you there were 200 to 300 people there, but honestly there were close to 10,000. Like, it may not have been 10,000, but it was a big number. It was a very big number. And as we're walking, there's a massive crowd around us, and a lady comes. She grabs my attention. She goes, hey, I don't know if you're going to recognize me, but I was that lady that you spoke to at Queen Victoria Market. And it snapped to me straight away. I was like, no way, like, I never thought I would see you again.
She was out of uniform.
Yeah, she's out of uniform. She's off duty. She's at a protest. Pretty ironic, to be honest, but yeah, so I'm speaking to this lady, and she said the words, like, what you said to me that day really resonated with me. She said, I was crying on the spot as you were speaking to me. She said, when I went home, I cried. She said, the next day I was bawling my eyes out. She goes, she said, all my colleagues are there. She goes, we don't want to be doing what we're doing. This is not what we signed up for. she said, you know, we're forced to do this. This is not what we signed up for. And
they're scared to speak up.
Yeah,
they'll lose their job.
Exactly. They're scared to speak up. Like, I ended up giving her a hug, but it was a great moment, to be honest. Like, it made me realize, you know, our actions do mean something. You know, you may not see it in the short term, you may not even see it in the long term, but, you know, our actions mean something. And what I took from that, there's a couple things that I took from that, but they're not all the same, man. These police are not the same. From what I've realized, I've had a lot of encounters with these police now. The ones in the fluorescent, they're just doing a job. They're a bit unsure on what they're doing. They're not... The ones in black, the riot police, they're just like robots. They train all year for this moment. They come, they beat you up, and they're the ones that we see on the news bashing people. The ones in the fluorescent, they're at a very hard crossroad at the moment. It's either I put food on the table for my family, or I speak up and I lose my job. And it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation because these people, they're trained to not be leaders. They're trained to take orders from their chain of commands. They're not... And look, to be honest, for me, the excuse of I'm just doing a job is just not good enough anymore, because the situation that we're in, it's bigger than you and I individually. You know, because of Victoria Police, I'm sorry to say, but because of you guys, so many people have lost their homes, lost their businesses because they're afraid of yous. And you know, directly, you may not think that directly you're causing that, but I think it's your obligation to take leadership.
To speak the truth. Speak
the truth, man. Like, whether that's coming out publicly, whether that's talking to your colleagues and telling them, you know, guys, this is not right. If you lose your job, I guarantee you the love you will get from that, it's going to be exponential.
Yeah, 100%. And, yeah, so what happened after Musti met her, he bumps into me and tells me the story about how he met her. And I was overwhelmed with joy, because our actions really had an effect on this woman, to the point where she went home and she was crying. Not that we wanted to make her cry, but the fact that she's on the verge of quitting her job because of how she feels. And it proved to me that if you're genuine and you speak from your heart with raw emotion and you tell someone how you feel truly, that has a direct effect on them. They feel that, they connect to that. And if it's genuine, you can't deny that it's genuine. And she couldn't deny that we were being honest to her, and she had to find in her the truth. She couldn't deny it anymore. She couldn't deny that we were right, and that she felt that what she was doing was wrong. And she said that so many other officers feel the same way. And it just proved to me that I need to keep using my voice. I need to keep spreading the truth. I need to keep being honest. I need to not be silent. I can't be silent, because all we have is our voice. And that's all we need, because our voice, it includes others, and it has a ripple effect. Our actions have a ripple effect on humanity. You do one small deed, it affects others. And
yeah, I've been speaking to a lot of people during this, you know, and that everyone knows it's bullshit. Like, the message I feel for the last year has been, we gotta wake people up. We gotta wake people up, you know. But it's come to a point now, man. Everyone's awake, including the police. Everyone's awake. It's the problem we're facing now is people need to take action. Nobody's taking action, you know. I think that's the main thing. Like, we went into Vic Market we went out of Vic Market thinking pretty hopeless, feeling like, what was the point in all that?
We just needed more numbers.
Yeah.
We just felt we need more numbers, and we need more people to wake up. Not just wake up, but, you know, I'll quote Morpheus from The Matrix here. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. And, you know, once you know the path, you know, you gotta walk it. Just stop talking. And, like, if you tell me, so a lot of people say to me, they go, protesting doesn't achieve anything. Like, what are you doing? Like, okay, you may be right. It may not achieve, but there's at least a small percentage that it does. And if protesting doesn't achieve anything,
we've proved that.
And if it doesn't achieve anything, sitting at home and complaining about shit doesn't achieve anything, for a fact. So I don't want to be a complainer. I want to be a doer. I want to stand up, and I want to walk my walk. I want to be a man in the face of oppression. stand up.
Thanks
Yeah.
for listening.
Thanks, guys.